The causes means it is the main different causes when metal at a low electrode potential, metal undergoes oxidation, and metal with a high reduction potential undergoes reduction. So here the reaction may be represented as one is the liberation of OH minus ions and the other one is the liberation of metal which gives to Mn plus plus Ne electrons. So here these are the two different reactions takes place at anode and cathode. Similarly, when you come across differential aeration corrosion is there you can see difference in the air gap. See here, this is the iron rod. What you have taken, this iron rod is halfly immersed in the beaker, halfly immersed in beaker. The beaker contains medium. This medium, halfly immersed rod is immersed and other half of the rod is exposed to the environment. Can you see? So here the half which is more exposed to the environment, the half of the half electrode which is more exposed, that part or that portion acts as a cathode, and the part which is immersed in the water which is available, less active oxygen is available for the corrosion, this part acts as a anode. Remember this, where there is a less air gap, that portion of metal, of any metal, acts as anode. Where there is more air gap, that portion of the metal acts as cathode preferably. So difference in the aeration gap. Differential aeration corrosion is a type of corrosion that occurs when oxygen concentrations vary across the metal surface. The varying concentration of oxygen creates an anode and cathode on the metal surface. Preferably anodic portion undergoes corrosion. Preferably the anodic portion. See, if there is an air gap or a air difference in air portions where less aerated portion acts as an anode and more aerated portion acts as a cathode, and the portion which is acting as an anode undergoes or affected by the corrosion. Example I have shown here. Take the iron rod, immerse the half of the iron rod into the water where that is less aerated portion, and above a portion which is not exposed, immersed in the water or a medium that is acts as a cathode. So this type of differential aeration corrosion occurs when different parts of the same metal, expressed in are exposed to the concentrations, exposed to the concentration. The part of which is exposed, more exposed to the air, acts as cathode, and the part which is not exposed to the air and undergoes in the medium, that acts as a anode. So here what is the anodic reaction? Same anode, under anode means as it is a oxidation where N gives to Mn plus plus any oxidation of M electrode. Cathode is nothing but H2O plus O2 plus electrons to give 4 hydroxyl ions. It is not H2. Hydrogen evolution will not take place here. It liberates hydroxyl ions. So these hydroxyl ions, which were liberated in the cathode, react with or combine with the anode, that is the anode electron. It forms a rust product which undergoes rust. Again, this differential aeration corrosion subclassified into another two different classes, that is waterline corrosion and uh, pitting corrosion. First, we will see waterline corrosion. What is waterline corrosion? Waterline corrosion is here. Um, one second. Here, can you see here? Ship. One picture is the ship which is always immersed in the water surface, and other portion, the pillars were halfly immersed in the water and the other half is not immersed in the water. Can you see in the second picture, right? So these two are examples for the waterline corrosion. Apart from this waterline corrosion, you can give an example of tankers. Tankers also you can give. For example, if you take a tumbler of water, a half filled tumbler water, take a half of water in the tumbler, in a glass of water, steel glass, iron glass, or steel glass, or copper glass, or brass glass, any metal glass. Keep it for a longer period. Keep it for longer period. Longer period means maybe for 1 month or without disturbing it. What happens there? At the line surface itself, you can see some white color precipitate formation. A line of white color at the line of the water. Correct. So this precipitate is nothing but it start destructing the surface of the metal because of the salt deposition in the water, because of the dissolved salts, or because of the metal undertaking corrosion, because metal undergoing corrosion. So this water line corrosion, when we are explaining, near the water line surface, always the corrosion happens. How anode and cathode forms? Because near the water line surface, below the water line the portion acts as an anode. Above the water line, which is more exposed, which acts as a cathode. Hence, always you can see the destruction of the metal surface always occurs at the water line, below the water line surface. Hence, this is referred as a water line corrosion. You can see here in this picture, this is the water line. This water line, the rust happens at the near the water line surface, just below the water line. So this just below the water line surface, whatever the corrosion occurs, this is called as water line. Metal is in contact with the water line. So what is the definition we can give? This is what I explained with taking a halfly immersed water. And what is the type of the reaction which is taking place? The type of the reaction takes place below the water line anode, because hence it is acting as an anode. M is gives to Mn plus Ne, which is nothing but oxidation. And cathode, water plus oxygen plus electrons to give hydroxyl ions. So this hydroxyl ions takes place. The next sub-classification of waterline corrosion is what? Pitting corrosion. Next classification is pitting. Another waterline corrosion is pitting corrosion. Pitting corrosion, how we can explain is, here if you look at the picture here, sorry. If you look at the picture here, this is the iron rod. This is the iron rod. This is the iron rod. In this iron rod, there is a hole here. Can you see hole here? Means how this hole forms means the dust which is sits on here. This is the dust, just like a duster. Have you seen the duster? Duster we use for dusting the dust or clear the board. We use the duster, right? Now, our first when you brought the duster, it is very clean and neat surface. As you keep on using it, dust sits on the surface. What happens? A layer of the dust, when the dust sits on the surface for a longer period, a layer below the dust surface, it get etches, right? That same concept applies here also on the metal. So when you take a piece of metal, when this dust sits on the surface for a longer period, for more than a 1 month or 2 months or 1 year or more than a longer period, the portion covered by beneath the portion covered by the dust, the below the dust surface acts as anode, and that is affected by the corrosion. What happens? Below the dust surface, it starts forming the hole. So this hole, the formation, after forming a hole, what happens? This this acts as an anode. Apart from that, above, like away, like whatever the dust, like apart from the dust surfaces, the above or below, that is outside or this side or inside, outside surface. Apart from the dust surfaces, the dirt portions, which are left out portions, that portions acts as a cathode, which is not affected by the corrosion. And this formation of a pit is nothing but forming a hole. forming a hole below the dust surface. Hence, the type of process or type of corrosion is called as pitting corrosion. Pitting corrosion is usually found in passive metals. Sorry. Pitting corrosion usually found in passive metals and such as aluminium alloys, stainless steel and stainless steel alloys. When ultra thin passive film is chemically or mechanically damaged and does not immediately repassivate. Repassivate means it cannot be reconstructed again. This results the formation of a pits. Pits are nothing but the formation of a holes, the destruction of the metal surface can become wide, shallow, or narrow and deep, which can rapidly revert and wall thickness by the metal. So pitting corrosion is nothing but forming a pit, forming a holes on the beneath the dust surface. This is another example for a pitting corrosion. Again, when it comes to the anode and cathode reaction, what is the anode reaction? Anode reaction is oxidation, cathode reaction is reduction. So you have to write again the same reactions and explain. So differential aeration corrosion explains as differential aeration corrosion. What it explains? Where there is a less air gap, that portion acts as an anode. Where the metal is more exposed to the activated oxygen, that portion acts as a cathode. So based on this, again it is subdivided, classified into waterline corrosion and pitting corrosion. In the exam, how they will ask means, they may ask directly explain differential aeration corrosion, or else they will give a type example. For example, halfly filled water tank, or submarine ships, or ship hulls, like that. You need to identify the type of corrosion means type of corrosion. In case of half-filled water tank, it is a waterline corrosion. This is a waterline corrosion. You have to explain waterline corrosion. Then it is comes under differential aeration corrosion. You should not write as a differential aeration corrosion. See the example correctly, which example it suits to which type. Identify the type and explain the type first, and later you give an example like it comes under differential aeration corrosion. Like this, they will ask in the exam for the 6 marks. Understood? Now you write down this. Understood? Any doubt here in the differential aeration?
No, ma'am.
Any doubt here? No doubt. So what you have to write is, write only the definition of differential aeration and the reactions. Enough. Write only the definition and the reactions. After that, tell me. Finished?
Yes, ma'am.
So waterline corrosion. This is another classification and pitting corrosion. Next is corrosion control. So controlling measures. Can you give an example how we can control? What is your idea how we can control the corrosion which happens to the metal?
And galvanization, painting, alloys, or electrolysis, coating, mm, and then waxing also will help, ma'am.
Okay. Other than that, other than that,
By polishing the surface.
by polishing the surface. Okay. Next, any other idea how we can protect or how we can control? Definitely, we cannot totally stop the corrosion. Only thing is we can control, right? So corrosion happens. Only thing is whether it is the rate of corrosion is high or rate of corrosion is low. It depends only the corrosion, right? But we cannot stop the type of corrosion. We cannot stop any type of corrosion totally. Only we can control. We can control by increasing the type of corrosion. What are the controlling methods are? Controlling method is just always we cannot paint or we cannot use inhibitors, we cannot do coatings. We can also just by changing the designs and changing the choosing the metals in different also we can avoid formation of different types of corrosion. For example, if we want to control differential metal corrosion, how we can control? Instead of taking two different metals, we can selectively take only one metal and do the pumping constructions or any purpose. If you want, you can selectively choose only one metal. That way you can avoid differential metal corrosion. How you can avoid differential aeration corrosion? Differential aeration corrosion can be avoided by just by changing the design. When what is the changing a design? You know, differential aeration corrosion happens only in the less air gaps, right? Where there is less vacuuminated condition. So avoid the corners, avoid the less air gap portions. Instead of making the corners, design in such a way that it should more exposed to the air. If you design in such a way that you can avoid differential aeration corrosion. So apart from this, we have other methods like paints, varnishes, using inhibitors, using organic inhibitors, using coatings, and using connecting to the other metals. Also, we can control corrosion. Also, we can control corrosion. So in this subtopic, we have one method. We have a method of corrosion controlling methods. One is organic metal coatings and inorganic metal coatings. Coatings means coating the surface of the metal, coating the surface on a metal where the base metal to protect the base metal from the corrosion. So we need to coat a metal in such a way that by any method, by adopting any method, either by galvanization or by coating. 1 second. Galvanization or metal coatings. So in that metal coatings, we have cathode metallic coating and anode metallic coating. Cathode metallic coating is coating a cathode metal, one metal or which acts as a cathode on the surface of on the surface of anode metal, on the surface of a base metal, that is called as cathode metal coating. Anode metal coating is coating anode metal on the surface of a base metal which is already a anode metal. So this type of coating is called as anode metal coating. Apart from this, we have other metal coatings which is called as cathodic protections. Like protecting means not only by coating, by also connecting to the alternative metals or connecting to the other metals also we can control corrosion. Such type of protections are called as cathodic protections or anodic protections. Just by connecting into different metals, also by alternating metals also we can control the corrosion. So this type of corrosion controlling methods, the type of corrosion controlling methods, we call that type is called as protective coatings. So protective coatings are the coatings which protects the base metal from the metal surfaces. So destructing from the metal surfaces. So now we'll start metal coating or a metal control, how we can control the corrosion of metal surfaces but just by coating or by just by connecting to the other metals, that we'll see in this subtopic, small topic. So what is this corrosion occurs? Like what are these metal coatings? A method of depositing a layer of metal over a substrate which protects the base metal from the corrosion, which is called as metal coating. Ideal properties for metal coatings are which has more resistant to attack, do not accelerate at local corrosion at defects, good physical properties, and electric hardness compatible with fabrication of complete components and uniform thickness and the pore free. These are the advantages if you coat a metal on the surface of a base metal. So how one process is how this classification, the metal coatings are classified. So metal coatings are classified into two different types. One is inorganic coatings and the other one is organic coatings. Again, which is also called as anodic coating and also cathodic coating. A method of converting a top layer of metal into protective coating by supplying of electrons externally is called as inorganic coatings. Organic coatings by coating inert metal, metallic surface to protect the metal surface, to protect the metallic surface, to protect the metal, usually thickness of the organic coating less than 0.4 mm thickness. So don't worry about all these things, how we are going to coat or what is the thickness we have to maintain or nothing. Just you have to understand, you should understand that the organic metal coatings are the coatings like paints and varnishes. Just by coating a paints and varnishes, you can control, you can do organic coatings. Inorganic coatings are just by coating one metals on the surface of a other metal. This is called as inorganic coating. One such metal coatings of anodic coating or anodic metal coatings are like this. You can see that examples here. What are I have seen here? This is the base metal, the tank, which is where the grills are there, drillings are there, which they are immersing in the medium, which contains organic, inorganic inhibitor, anodic base metal. If the base metal is coated with the metal, is anodic to it. Base metal is, say for example, base metal is a anode. Base metal is iron we are taking. We want to protect the iron metal. Just choose another metal which is anodic to the iron only. For example, zinc we are choosing. Zinc is an anode. Coating a zinc on the surface of iron, both metals are anode. But zinc also anode, iron also anode. But our intention is to protect iron, so we are choosing another metal which is acting anode to the surface of an iron and coating on the surface of a metal. That process is called as anode metal coating. So here in this picture I have shown you how this well-known example, how this grills are coating by just by immersing, just by dipping into the medium or a metal solution, metal ionic solution. It's just coating on the surface. Another one is cathode metal coating is protecting the base metal by choosing another metal which acts as a cathode. For example, iron. This is iron. Can you see? This is iron tumbler. Nowadays, you are getting copper coated iron vessel, steel vessels or steel utensils. That is nothing but copper. It acts as a cathode, which is coating on the surface of the iron or a steel, which acts as a cathode. That is called as cathodic protection. Cathodic protection. This is the difference between anode metal coating and cathode metal coating. Another example what we have is galvanizing. Galvanizing is a process where we have to immerse in different different solutions to coat a zinc on the surface of a solution of iron, surface of a base metal which is iron. So this galvanizing process we'll see in the next class. But now you write down this corrosion control, write down this protective coating. First you write protective coating surfaces. Can you see the slide? Slide is visible or not?
Visible, ma'am.
ಬರ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಮತ್ತೆ, right? Okay. I have to take attendance, no? Write only the points. What points you have to write means write only these things. Metal coatings you write, and ideal properties of metal coatings. Only write one thing. These things. Don't write any other thing. Corrosion control. Write the heading as corrosion control and write only those points.
Excuse ma'am.
Yes, is that?
Ma'am, for assignment, what should we write in the first page, ma'am?
I told you, no, first page. Write your name, branch, section.
Yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, I'll send the format. Okay, I'll make one format and send you. Similarly, you can make that in a first page. Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am, that also we have to scan, no?
Not required. See that you fill and keep it whenever it will done. That first page along when you are submitting, you can submit together. Okay. Don't scan
Ma'am.
first. Yes.
Ma'am, I didn't wrote that one, but I submitted. Ma'am.
Fine. But next time when you are submitting, you write and keep. Okay.
Okay.
First
Okay,
page only. No, you can stick. If you are writing in the book, separate one sheet you can write and paste it in the first. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. But I'll send you the format, what and all you should add in the first page. That page you can make it ready and you can scan and submit. First time, no. Let me see how you are writing and how you are formatting everything. Better to scan first page. Okay? Written this? Finished writing? Write this one, inorganic coating and organic coating. I'll just make a format and send you the first page. Okay. How many of you submitted the assignment already today? I didn't check. How many of you have taken the assignment, submitted the assignment as of now? Okay. Then I have raised the hands. Manish Kumar,
Yes, ma'am.
why 2 logins?
Only one login I
But I could see 2 members. Fine. Written this? Written or not?
Yes, ma'am, written.
Written. Okay. Next, the galvanization of galvanizing part and other 2 things to impressed voltage method and how we are going to control the 2 methods that we will discuss in the next class. Let me take your attendance. I'll just download the attendance. Wait a second. So submit the assignment. I am not giving more extension. I'm not going to give more time. From tomorrow onwards and all, don't ask me for the permission. If you don't read, only 10 questions are there. And tomorrow is Sunday. Sit and prepare. All of you have got the notes, I guess. Correct? Sit and prepare only these 10 questions. And those 10 questions only, I'm giving the test on Monday, first hour, that is at 9 o'clock. And for the 9 o'clock test, what you have to do is get ready with the A4 size sheets for writing the test. A4 size sheets writing the test. Or else if you are writing in the book, no problem, because IA test you have to write separately. I don't know what is the IA test rules and conditions, but you can write in A4 size sheet so that if you can submit it separately, that IA test. Okay. So now you can write first sheet you can prepare IA unit test 1. Unit test 1 on module 1. Everything you keep ready, and on that day